Moriarty is known for her work on 48 Hours, but she's doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's her own podcast, and it's called My Life of Crime. She now joins us live from New York. Erin, good to see you. So tell us about your podcast and how it's different than the work that you actually do on 48 Hours.
Well, if you like 48 Hours, we're still on this podcast covering crime, and it's still the 48 Hours team. But we're doing stories that you might not really see on TV, and we're taking you places that you might not go normally. For instance, we're taking listeners to behind the bars at a maximum security women's prison. And in our first two podcasts, we spend the night at a crime scene. And I can assure you, I've never done that on 48 Hours.
Let's talk about that first episode for a moment there, Erin, because it deals with a case that so many of us know from a nursery rhyme. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, but we don't really know the full story, do we? This is what you sort of set out to uncover?
Absolutely. In fact, she did not give her 40 whacks. I should point out, even the nursery rhyme is wrong. What was interesting to me is that I thought I knew so much. This was a 32-year-old woman who in 1892 was accused of killing her parents with an axe. It was really the high-profile case, kind of the 19th century O.J. Simpson case, if you will. And I think most of us just thought she did it. But in fact, if you watch 48 Hours, you know how important blood spatter is. And if in fact she took an axe to her parents, there was no blood spatter on her, no blood trail. At trial, I think one of the more interesting things is that it was an all-male jury, and that really affects the verdict. And I think people will even be surprised with the verdict. It is not what I thought or most people expected.
So interesting, Erin. And how can viewers actually listen to the podcast?
Well, if you listen to podcasts, all you have to do, let's say you have an iPhone, there is a pink podcast icon. You press on that, then you just hit search, and you look up My Life of Crime. But you can find it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any place that you find podcasts. Or just like search on the CBS website, Erin Moriarty, My Life of Crime, you will find us.
All right, plenty of ways to track it down. Erin, thank you so much. Looking forward to that. We'll have to add that to our podcast subscription list. Thank you so much.